The ultimate understanding or the ultimate enlightenment is you realize there is no purpose to life. It's just to live. If you watch a cricket match, if somebody is India scoring very well, hitting sixes, then you jump up and you shout. Is there a purpose to your jumping up and your shouting? No. But there's a cause to it. That is joy. Because there is joy, you're jumping up and you're shouting. But there's no purpose to your shouting. It's just there. So this creation is there just because there's too much joy. But the stuff of creation is love and joy. Therefore it is there. There's no purpose to it. You just dance away because there's joy. What's the purpose to your dance? You can see a lot of people dancing away for no reason. If you're truly living, you won't ask the question, what is the purpose of life? Because you're not living, you want a purpose to live. And you don't understand how could you live without a purpose? Because you don't live. If you live, as I said, just to breathe is ananda. Just to be is ananda. Just to walk is ananda. To drink, to eat, to talk. Look at somebody, there's ananda. That's the stuff of life, which is what we're trying to do for you.
Of all the battles ever fought by man, the battle against himself has been the most arduous. The mind, with its contents, fear, jealousy, guilt, boredom, etc., is divisive in nature. It is divided as the good and the bad, the sacred and the profane, and is trying to evade the other. That's the struggle all about. The awakened realizes that it is not his, her mind, but the collective ancient mind flowing through, and hence is aware of the futility of change. This insight unfurls an entirely new experience of living and being. He or she no longer struggles, but rather has befriended the mind. Awakening is not a destination, it is a journey. Cessation of personal suffering is a milestone on this ongoing journey in consciousness. The rest unfolds, growth continues to happen. The energy available manifests as attention to the other, love in relationships, as efficiency and creativity in work. You, in short, move from existence to living.
Yes, Sri Bhagavan. Yes.
Namaste. Love you all. So today we would start a new process. A process that we have been doing in India. For the first time, we would be doing it abroad. This process should dramatically speed up things. The objective of this process is to help you realize, first of all, that the universe is alive, conscious, and fully aware of what's going on. I repeat, to help you realize that the universe is alive, conscious, and fully aware of what is going on. In this process, traumas, fears, all this would be overcome very, very fast, at an unbelievable speed. This process is meant to speed up the process of awakening. And to move closer to God. About God, I would be speaking the coming weeks. The process would begin once you move into a dark room, or you have darkened this room where you are currently staying. What you are going to do is, you are right now seeing me on the screens. Now, the next few moments, I am going to move my presence to where you are. You would feel the presence and soak in the presence. The presence would do everything else. Your contribution is just to be sensitive to the presence. That's all. It's a very, very powerful process, but there is no need for you to have any kind of fear whatsoever. To begin with, we'll be very, very gentle, and then we will intensify it when it becomes great joy and bliss. Those of you who have been doing the sadhanas seriously would get a lot from this process. I would recommend that you be in this process for at least 14 minutes. You could stay for longer durations if you want to. I would keep the presence going for the next few hours. You could stay as long as it's possible for you, minimum being 14 minutes. And of course, if you cannot take it any longer, you could discontinue it. So I would soon be going off the screens, and you could either darken the space or you could move into a darker room, and a few moments later I would come in. I would myself come in as the presence. Before that, I'll give you an eye diksha for a short while. We will soon start. Love you all. Love you.
Of all the battles ever fought by man, the battle against himself has been the most arduous. The mind, with its contents, fear, jealousy, guilt, boredom, etc., is divisive in nature. It is divided as the good and the bad, the sacred and the profane, and is trying to evade the other. That's the struggle all about. The awakened realizes that it is not his, her mind, but the collective ancient mind flowing through, and hence is aware of the futility of change. This insight unfurls an entirely new experience of living and being. He or she no longer struggles, but rather has befriended the mind. Awakening is not a destination, it is a journey. Cessation of personal suffering is a milestone on this ongoing journey in consciousness. The rest unfolds, growth continues to happen. The energy available manifests as attention to the other, love in relationships, as efficiency and creativity in work. You, in short, move from existence to living.
The Oneness Temple is a colossal structure built of marble and spans an area of 40 acres. This mammoth three-story temple, an architectural marvel, is 105 feet high. Built according to the ancient principles of Vastu, the Oneness Temple is positioned at a point where the Earth's grid lines or energy lines meet, a very rare phenomenon that creates heightened energy levels and is conducive for a spiritual awakening in people who meditate inside the hall. People across the globe have seen visions and revelations about this great temple over the years and the role it would play in the divine scheme of things. Even before its completion, it is a spiritual destination attracting vast local and global tourists. Mystical visions and divine experiences descend upon people even as they set foot on the sacred land. Scores of devotees from across the globe eagerly await the completion of this sacred shrine. It doesn't belong to the people of any one faith or religion. It stands as a symbol of oneness of humanity and oneness between man and God.
Your mind is composed of several personalities.
Ваш ум состоит из нескольких личин.
One of the personalities could pray.
Одна из личин может молиться.
What we call the mind is a dialogue between these personalities.
И мы называем умом вот этот диалог между этими личинами.
That's why I often call you a mobile marketplace.
Поэтому я очень часто вас называю передвижной или ходячий рынок.
They're all the time chattering.
Внутри постоянная болтовня.
When the chatter stops, you go.
Когда болтовня останавливается, вы
And we call
исчезаете.
you awakened.
Или можно назвать вас пробужденным.
So you can create one personality. You can create or destroy any personality. You could create a personality which would pray.
И вы можете создать или разрушить любую личину, можете также создать личину, которая молится.
And there could be another personality which says don't pray.
И также может быть другая личина, которая не молится.
Somehow the one which wants to pray must manage to pray.
И та личина, которая должна молиться, у нее должно получиться молиться.
You get the breakthrough.
И тогда у вас получится.
And finally you are free of all personalities.
И в итоге вы освобождаетесь вообще от всех личин.
Not that they are not there,
Не так, что их не становится,
but they no more make use of you.
но они больше не используют вас.
On the other hand, you make use of them.
С другой стороны, вы их используете.
India's greatest contribution is the experiencer, the experiencing, and the experienced are one and the same, appearing to be three different things. What is there is just the experience, that is all. But it appears to you because of the self and the psychological self to be as though there is an experiencer who is experiencing something. This is what you would realize at the end of the process, that it is not three. It is just the experience. That alone is there. The universe is an experience, which can appear as though there is an experiencer who is experiencing. When you come there, there is total silence, a silence which is love, which is God. There you become one with God. That is the ultimate oneness. That is why you are right now at the Oneness University.
Brothers and sisters and fellow travelers, so many of us have been traveling together over the past few months, coming across each other in this eternity called time. And today we are here to discuss something very, very poignant. And I sincerely revere your commitment to learning, which I'm sure is what has brought you here. I'm sure all of you are people who are capable of curiosity, who are capable of inquiry, who are capable of learning, of growing, and with a passion to serve, to contribute and make a difference to the world in which we are living. And I respect you for it. And my love for you all. We are so important. If only we thought we were important, then most certainly we would also realize that the times in which we are living as well are very, very important. That is why Sri Bhagavan in one of his most beautiful statements says that the coming decade is going to witness the most unprecedented changes that humanity has ever witnessed. The coming decade is going to be the most significant, the most important period that mankind has traversed. And all of us being here today to understand what the future is going to be, not the future, but our future, and the world as you know it is going to change. Education as you know is going to change. Medicine as you know is going to change. Technology and travel and communication, everything is going to change. Now this is beautiful. But what happens to the human being who is in the midst of this change? Do we as human beings have the potential to adapt to change that is so accelerated? Accelerated change is what we are witnessing. Change has always been there, but accelerated change is what we are witnessing right now. And do we have the potential to withstand, to adapt, and to go with these changes? There are anyway 3 possibilities that can happen to us as individuals over the next 10 years. Remember, we are not talking of some long time ago. If your child is now doing her 10th standard, by the time she comes to post-graduation medicine, the world will be different. That's what we are looking at. Possibility number 1, humanity will collapse, unable to take on the change because all pressure is going to be on relationships. Any pressure that happens externally is going to impact our emotional life. Culture is going to change, values are going to change, and you're not going to have stability in relationships because you do not know who is going to be with you. To whom do I belong to? There's going to be an enormous crisis in terms of loneliness that is going to happen to people. If that possibility happens, then relationships are going to be at stake. And if relationships are going to be at stake, our immune system is going to collapse. Is that the possibility? Number 1. Possibility number 2. The world is going to change. Anyway, it is going to change. And we are going to drag ourselves into this changing world, drag ourselves very painfully because we have no other option, and very painfully acclimatize ourselves to these changes that are going to come. This is possibility number 2. Possibility number 3, the most beautiful of possibilities. Just as there is going to be evolution in every sphere of life, there will also be an evolution in consciousness. As human beings, we are going to be capable of a much elevated state of consciousness. As human beings, we are going to be capable of living in the present. As human beings, we are going to be able to connect to the higher conscious, to the divine presence. Is that possibility opening up in front of us? Also, it is addressing the 3rd possibility that oneness has come into existence. Oneness is to help aid humanity make this transition into this new age.